Jo Stanley. It is an absolute delight to be alongside Luke, Darcy, Jacqui, Felgate and Dr Nick Carr.
Hey, Jo.
On this beautiful spring day, it is so great to say goodbye to the winter woolies, don't you think? Although now I'm getting ready to show the world my lily white legs in some summer shorts, which is always a bit of a shock.
Well, Jo, it's that nice feeling that summer's just around the corner, although we are in Melbourne, which is renowned for its 4 seasons in one day, so I'm not quite cracking out the board shorts just yet. You always need a jacket when you are in Melbourne.
Well, just speaking of fashion, board shorts and whatnot, the average Australian buys 56 pieces of clothing every year. And according to Greenpeace, that's 60% more than what we did 15 years ago. And you know what? We're wearing them for half as long.
And you'll appreciate this, Jack.
I will.
It's because of the rise of cheaper, less sustainable and less durable fashion. And terrifyingly, we are now in Australia the second highest consumers per capita of textiles in the world after the USA.
Yeah, you'll be interested to know that we actually throw away 23 kilograms of clothing every single year, and that makes textile waste one of our biggest problems.
Which is why today we're focusing on how to look and feel good while doing good as well.
We're also going to take a look at the modelling agency that's fighting back against unrealistic body image, particularly when it comes to images generated by AI.
And Jack, don't chuck it out, fix it. That is the message coming from an army of volunteers encouraging people to fix things rather than go out and purchase something new.
I absolutely love that story, Das, and my doctor daughter Isabelle and I will investigate how to combat that problem that comes with spring that so many of us hate, and we're talking hay fever and sinus issues.
Well, back to clothing, the average person only wears about 40% of their clothes. I think I might be guilty.
I think I'm even less.
And only a fraction of clothes that are donated to charities are actually resold.
Well, let's go to the 3 R's now: reduce, reuse and recycle when it comes to clothing. But now we can add 2 more words, and that is rent and repair. So when it comes to rent, what about renting out the things, perhaps the formal outfits that you might wear and only actually use once?
Want something quite formal? It's an outdoor setting, so maybe long sleeve.
We've definitely seen the young market change in the way they look at fashion, they view fashion. There's lots of concern about going into landfill. Like, we're talking millions and millions and millions of tonnes of fabric. So the younger generation is more aware. They're looking at the impact of it for their children, what it means for the environment, and rentals sort of fitting that niche.
Love it, yeah, the fit.
And not just rental, I'd say the circular economy in general. So people reselling on Facebook Marketplace, for example, swapping amongst their friends, rent a rack. We're definitely seeing that environmental shift. And I think it's the way forward, and definitely that younger crowd are moving towards that.
Interestingly, more and more fashion brands are looking at introducing rental alongside their retail model. So it's not an either or, but it's a case of looking at where in the business might rental make sense, because it makes that category of fashion accessible to a lot more people, and it also gets more use out of those clothes that otherwise might get like 1 wear a year, which doesn't really honor the immense investment in the quality of the fabric, quality of the manufacturer, because these often are some of the best made things, and it kind of is a shame not to then use them.
So the red Sonia motor, this has been rented around 57 times. Really popular with that school formal girl, so 16 to sort of, let's say, 18 mark. My business is dress rental. It can be anything from school formal girl, mum's going out for a mum's lunch, those big milestone birthdays. Funerals have become pretty commonplace lately, so people wanting that little black dress, right through to mums of brides and grooms.
We have now overtaken the US as the highest consumers of clothing in the world. It's somewhere between 55 and 60 garments per person per year that we're buying. And as a consequence of that, being also the highest producers of second-hand clothing waste in the world. And that really, like, the solution is to consume less, consume better. But I do think that all of us should be asking questions about what does enough look like for me. Ultimately, we do need to reduce consumption, as well as just get better at recycling the things that absolutely cannot be used. Because there is now so much clothing going around that almost nobody knows what to do with it. The volumes are just so high.
So this is a Leolin, so around about $1,000 price point. You're looking at your demographic around 40 upwards. It can be anywhere from 10 rentals to 50 rentals. It depends on the fabric type. We always have a sale rack downstairs, so those pieces will sell for between $50 and $100. If the fabric's absolutely stunning, we move it on to local milliners in the area and they'll make millinery from it. And we also have a partnership with Oxfam, so everything goes somewhere. It never goes into landfill with us. It's always got that second, third, fourth life. We have people that won't rent and purely wait for that sale rack. Just go, yep, I've been waiting for that, and come and grab it. So I think people aren't afraid to buy secondhand anymore.
You know, each of us has at least one thing in our closet that you put it on and you just feel amazing. I'm wearing mine today. And it doesn't mean having to buy 60 things a year. You know, it's actually the opposite. Some recent research says that if we are to honour the goal of the Paris Agreement from 2015 and limit warming to 1.5 degrees, we can buy 5 garments per person per year.
The fashion industry is really responding to this surplus of new clothes, and so are many people who are refusing to throw out household items that are broken. They're opting to repair them instead. So perhaps we can add another R word to the list of tackling waste. Up next, we'll meet them at the aptly named Repair Cafe, where you can also get your coffee fix.
Well, right now is Frocktober, which does this means we dive into our wardrobe, wear a beautiful outfit, all in the name of raising awareness and funds to fight ovarian cancer.
Joe, you can do it for a day, for a week, or even the whole month of October if you like, and you can wear whatever you want, which is a really good thing.
Early detection is the best weapon against some pretty grim survival rates for ovarian cancer. It's estimated that an 8,000 Aussie lives could be saved over the next 10 years if it's found early. So head along to frocktober.org.au to find out more.
Great cause to get behind that one. Joe, I want to discuss a bit of a disturbing trend in social media and even in our magazines, and that is photoshopped, unrealistic and manipulated images that are causing a bit of distress.
Oh, and on our phones. I mean, Darcy, most smartphones come with built-in apps and filters that, you know, remove as blemishes and wrinkles and even can change the shape of a face at the touch of a button.
And, Joe, particularly for our kids, it's putting a lot of pressure on them, these unrealistic images, creating a sense of wanting to look a certain way that's impossible to attain.
It is a real worry, Darcy, and not just for our kids. Now the models and agencies are fighting back in an attempt to change the damage being done by AI.
So generative AI, which is what we're against, is the use of billions and billions of people's images and videos. Everyday people, you and me, your parents, your sisters, your grandma, they are data scraping the entire internet and all social media sites for images and videos, which they then use to make a composite human being. So an avatar of a person who doesn't exist but is based on people who do exist, which they are then presenting back out into the world as real people.
Modelling agent Chelsea Bonner is labelled the body image warrior. Over her time, she's seen the evolution of the perfect model to include diversity of shape, size, ethnicity and disability. And now she's taking on artificial intelligence to stop what she believes will set the industry back by years.
The danger in that is things like who is controlling the narrative then of who is a real person and who isn't, or what women's body shapes should look like, or what is considered attractive.
In an effort to regain some kind of control, Chelsea is spearheading a petition to lobby federal government to act, to put some rules in place for a technology she says is so simple to use, it can quickly get out of control. And you actually taught yourself this technology to understand how it works. How easy is it to learn and how readily available?
Look, I am not particularly tech-minded, and it was, you know, probably within a month I could build a whole human being within a couple of minutes.
Because internet images can be downloaded and then easily manipulated, Chelsea's concern is where and how these images are being used and who's reaping the financial rewards.
It pays too well for them to not do it. But meanwhile, the real model that they're stealing the image from, her body is doing things that she has not consented at all to do, manipulated by technology, and it's so easy.
The wheels of power haven't turned fast enough. So Chelsea's taken matters into her own hands, and by using the very technology she wants to see legislated, she's created her own app designed to prevent image theft and ensure everyone involved in the process is reimbursed.
The photographers still get paid, the models still get paid, the hair and makeup artists still get paid, everybody still gets paid, but the client has the option to use the software in order to create the images that they want to see rather than use, you know, Joe's fake people over there. We are able to clone, using 3D technology, the exact proportions and likeness of that person, whether it's an actor or a model, and it gets held in a library. So much like now when a client goes to our website and chooses from a portfolio of images, they will go and choose from a portfolio or a library of avatars. Then they go through to the next library. So then instead of hiring a live photographer, they will purchase the background images from that photographer. Then they will choose a hair and makeup option. So they will buy the hair and makeup option from that makeup artist. So that we're trying to catch as many people as we can in that process so that everybody along the way still gets paid and they can still earn an income from this type of technology.
And as consumers, surely we have a right to know whether the images we're looking at are fake or not.
Yes, we absolutely have the right to know what we are visually consuming, the same way we have the right to know what we are eating. You know, there should be an ingredients list when we are coming up against this type of nefarious software, because the impact it can have on, you know, body image, self-esteem, eating disorders. The rates of eating disorders because of TikTok have gone through the roof. They're 3 times worse than they were just a few years ago before TikTok was released onto the market. So we know that young women in particular are heavily influenced by social media. Obviously, I would prefer that they didn't use AI, generative AI at all in images that are supposed to be of human beings. That's my preference, but I think it's gone beyond that now. I don't know that there's a way to pull it back, and so in that case, we need regulations, protections and labelling.
So Chelsea, most of us are really ignorant to really the depths of this technology and how damaging it can be. And I think particularly as parents, we think, how can we actually arm our kids to head into, you know, their futures and protect themselves? What advice have you got?
My best advice is, you know, it's the oldest advice ever given to a human being, I think, which is knowledge is power. So learn, research, read. You can look up most of these articles on the internet. You can ask ChatGPT as many questions about artificial intelligence as you want. It's got all the information in there. So, you know, utilise their own power against them if you want to. But our kids need to know about it. Schools need to be teaching it. Every workforce needs to be helping their staff understand generative AI and what it can be used for good and how it can be used in very bad ways.
Artificial intelligence, Jack, is going to become more and more a part of our lives, whether we like it or not. And technology, for me, really is a double-edged sword. It can definitely be used for good, including in one of your favourite countries to travel to.
Oh, Italy, the home of pasta, of wine and cheese, what's not to love, and of gelati. And one business in Milan is actually using AI and ChatGPT to revolutionise their ice cream business.
Yeah, that particular Milan business you're talking about is using AI to determine which flavours customers want the most. It makes really good business sense to understand that, but also I love the fact that it's reducing food waste at the same time.
You're exactly right. So what they're doing is they're using AI to add different flavours to the base spices, which is cutting out any wastage. And then they use ChatGPT to suggest weird combinations for the flavours, ones that they haven't thought of before.
Which is actually incredible, really, Jack. I thought every possible ice cream combination and flavour had been thought of before, but apparently not. Your favourite?
I'm really basic. I like vanilla. I love a vanilla ice cream on a hot day. But you know what? Those frozen treats can have some really interesting side effects. Here's Dr. Nick Carr to explain.
Hi and welcome to Medicine Past, Present and Future. My name's Dr. Nick and I'm the past.
And my name's Dr. Isabelle and I'm the future.
And together, we're the present. Now, Dr. Isabelle, what's the connection between freshly mown hay and ice cream?
Maybe the hay is fed to the cows who produce the milk that we then make the ice cream out of.
Now, I like your lateral thinking, but no. They can both cause problems with the sinuses. Now, we'll come back to ice cream later, but with spring just around the corner, it's almost hay fever season. So, Dr. Isabelle, what is hay fever?
So, hay fever is the common term given to something known as allergic rhinitis. Now, that's when the eyes and the nose come in contact with things like pollen, grass seeds, and for some people, pet fur and dust mites. Now, if you're one of the 20% of Australians who suffer from hay fever, hey presto, itching, sneezing, and all-around misery.
And the term hay fever was first used nearly 200 years ago by the London physician John Bostock, who thought that his seasonal sniffles might be due to the smell of freshly mown hay. So he almost got that right. Because, of course, back then we knew nothing about the immune system. But, Dr. Isabelle, we do understand that better now, don't we?
Yeah, so we know that hay fever is part of the atopic triad, which includes eczema and asthma as well. So if you suffer from one of them, you're much more likely to suffer from the other two. Now, unfortunately, Melbourne is the hay fever capital of the world. But why is that, Dr. Nick?
Yeah, it's not really something for us to brag about, but with 1 in 3 Melburnians suffering from hay fever, we definitely get the gold medal. Now, why? Well, in simple terms, it's because our temperate climate means it's great for things like ryegrasses to grow like crazy, and then our famous 4 seasons in one day climate leads to high levels of pollen release.
Whereas places like the Atlantic coast of France, Spain and Portugal, that sea breeze blows inland, it blows the pollen away, much lower rates of hay fever. But if you do suffer from hay fever, what can you actually do about it, Dr. Nick?
Yeah, well, nasal sprays and antihistamines from the pharmacy, they help a lot. But if your hay fever's really bad, go and see an allergist because desensitisation can help.
Yeah, and that's a series of tiny injections given over many months, but it can make a really big difference.
Now, Dr. Isabelle, there's something we mentioned at the start that we haven't come back to yet. Ice cream.
Oh, I'd love some. Thank you.
Good try, but no. How does ice cream affect the sinuses?
You're talking about an ice cream headache where that cold substance hits the roof of the mouth. It causes vasospasm and nerve pain and that classic brain freeze feeling. Ouch!
They know how much I love my ice cream, so that's a problem I would hate to have.
Luckily, the remedy for it is just to slow down, enjoy your ice cream and don't inhale it like a Labrador.
Well, that's a program I can get with. Savour the ice cream and in the spirit of relaxation, stop and smell the roses.
Although if you've got hay fever, maybe skip the roses.
Spring is the perfect time to ditch the car and ride to work. It's a great way to get your daily exercise. And if our own Dr. Nick is anything to go by, it's a stress-free commute. See ya, Nick!
Nick, advancements in technology have seen the rise of fast fashion, which is cheap, affordable, but rarely lasts. But not all technology is bad. We're seeing some real positive outcomes as well.
Well, especially in modern medicine, Darcy, there's a new generation of so-called smart bandages that use a zap of light or electricity to help heal wounds.
Which is remarkable stuff. And these new smart bandages, Nick, do you think they'll replace the old gauze, plastic or latex models we used in the past?
Yeah, well, exactly, because the bandages, they've got tiny electronics which are used to monitor how a wound's healing, and then they can send that information wirelessly to the doctor, and some of them can even allow the doctor to remotely dispense treatment.
Well, Nick, while we're still on the subject of groundbreaking repair work, we're seeing a real pushback against being a throwaway society.
Yeah, and we really should be adopting more of that rent, reuse, repair approach to the stuff that we own, because so much of it just gets chucked into landfill just as soon as it doesn't work.
Yeah, there's a real shift in thinking going on there, and we're seeing these repair cafes pop up all around the country. It's not just all about fixing broken things, which is important, but it's also about connection, community, and making a few mates along the way. Let's check it out.
Heard of the term underconsumption? It's a new catchphrase that's a reaction against the rise of influencer culture and consumerism. These days, most of us can't afford expensive sneakers, top-end white goods or pricey clothing. People are more mindful of their spending and the environment, opting to repair or keep items rather than throw them away.
The repair cafes, it really is for everyone. There's people that have brought some really expensive sculptures and things in that have had bits and pieces broken off that we've repaired. There's people that have brought in, you know, $10 toasters that they can't afford a $10 toaster this week to replace that, and we've taken apart and repaired it. But there's people that just don't like throwing away stuff. There's a certain item that they've become used to using, or it's an item that they quite cherish, and they want to keep that. They don't want to go out and buy something that may not be the same. You may not even be able to buy that kind of thing anymore. So to repair that thing is a really good thing.
This is a pretty old one, and we did get it working, so it won't go to landfill, which is a saviour.
The life of products these days has been reducing and reducing. It seems everyone has a tale. You know, things aren't made the way they used to be, but it's kind of true. You know, things are made down to a price, and they're made sometimes to fail.
One of the senses is saying that it's probably either dirty or otherwise something's blocking it.
There's some common failure points on kitchen appliances, which is like a thermal fuse, and they're a really cheap component. They're like $1, $2 each. But when those things fail, they're very hard to get into the product often to replace it. But that can be done, and we've done those sorts of repairs many times before. And for a $2 or $3 part, we've saved a $30 to $300 appliance, and more sometimes, and that's really good.
And then I'm just going to do a temporary wire up so that we can make sure that this is what's going to fix it.
Yep. The International Repair Cafe movement was started by Martijn Postma in 2007 in Europe somewhere, Netherlands I think, and the concept is to sort of build community and teach people how things work and how to take apart things, and to give them the confidence to do those repairs themselves, really. Like, we have the skills to help them, but we also like them to be involved in the repair.
And all I'm doing here is I have like the darning mushroom underneath, which stretches it out a little bit, but I'm really just putting the thread, you know, in and out and in and out.
And yeah, that's good.
Thank you. Excellent.
The hardest thing with these themselves is just trying to get them apart without breaking the clips.
Some of them are electricians, some of them are in IT, some of them are retired furniture makers. We've got menders that are on the sewing machines, and they love doing what they do. And some of the guys that have come in and have become really regular fixers didn't know what a screwdriver was to begin with, but they come in and learn, and they learn from the other people here, the other volunteers that already have some of those skills, and that's a really important factor.
For a start, so we might just have an extra seam there.
Yeah.
Right? But like that?
Perfect.
Yeah?
Yeah.
So we bought our bunny and teddies because they have a hole in them.
We get furniture that needs either modifying or repairing, and we get garden tools that often just need cleaning. They get rusty and clogged up with stuff, and they just need cleaning. And vacuum cleaners. Vacuum cleaners are a very popular item, and most likely repair for a vacuum cleaner is there's something stuck in it. So we've spent long periods of time trying to work out what the fault with these vacuum cleaners are, and sometimes it's just a sock stuck in the tube.
I didn't know any of these people until I started doing this, so I have this same bunch of friends once a month. And we do the repairs, we have a cup of coffee together, and after our clients have left, we sit around and have a chat for 10 minutes. And I know I'm going to get that every month, so I find it good for me as well.
It's not a full-blown cafe like you might know about, but we offer coffee, tea, snacks. We have a coffee machine now, so we do proper coffee, and when we have someone that knows how to work that, which we do often, we do have some good coffee.
It's brilliant. I've been here before. Actually, I was here last year trying to get something else fixed, and they couldn't fix that at the time, but I think it's definitely been a positive story, yeah.
Making a repair or a hack to an item so that it can be used for something else is a really good thing, and we do some of that at the Repair Cafe too. We've had items where their batteries have failed, and we've basically added on a USB port to them so that they can be plugged into a USB battery bank or a USB charger, and it allows the item to keep working.
I thought, what am I going to do? I use this lamp every single day, and it was the switch.
It's problem solving. It's the smiles on people's faces when you fix something is amazing. That's the currency for me.
I'm a big fan of those repair cafes, and you know, my husband can fix anything thanks to YouTube.
My husband can fix nothing with or without YouTube.
Well, but I like a cafe. That's more my vibe, I have to say.
Well, I agree with you. And what's great about this is repairing things. It's better for the environment. It's better for our wallets. So it's a win-win.
Absolutely. And many of us are feeling the financial pinch right now. And actually, for some people, it means we're literally losing sleep.
Yes, and there's a study for this which showed that people who save money regularly actually get a better quality sleep. They're also more optimistic and more satisfied, and they just sleep better.
And it doesn't need to be a lot of money either. Just small amounts put away regularly can have huge benefits on your well-being and peace of mind, and might mean you get a better night's sleep.
Maybe I need to do that because I am the worst sleeper. And another thing that comes with good sleep is glowing skin. So here's Cruz to show us how to get that perfect glow.
LED light therapy stands for light emitting diode, which is essentially a coloured light. We have many different colours as part of the visible spectrum, and each of these colours represents a band of wavelengths that can penetrate through the skin. The classic LED colours that we rely on here in a dermatology practice or at home includes blue light, which has been shown scientifically to kill off a lot of the bacteria that may cause inflammation and drive acne. We also can use yellow light, which can actually reduce redness and in fact have some anti-aging benefits as well. So yellow light has been shown to improve fine lines and wrinkles and help stimulate collagen production. And finally, infrared light, which is an invisible wavelength, can penetrate the skin to help wound healing as an anti-inflammatory wavelength and for pain. It's particularly useful after medical procedures to help reduce swelling and to speed up the healing process.
اسمها LED light mask.
We certainly don't have any evidence that home LED devices are going to be anywhere as powerful or as effective as an in-clinic LED device, and they can certainly cost a pretty penny. Yes, these masks look sci-fi and pretty cool for a lot of people, and certainly frightening off your family or neighbours perhaps. But the idea is that when you go to a professional practice, the LED lights that are used are often in the order of thousands compared to a few hundred in-home LED masks. And they're also powered by very powerful energy sources. In my professional point of view, home LED masks are certainly harmless, but I don't believe they're necessarily going to confer long-term benefits.
As a lawyer and an influencer, obviously I've got the two lives to juggle, so stress is a big thing for me, and as I age, I feel like my skin is less resilient. As we get older, it's more important than ever to use skincare and incorporate skincare into our daily routines with things like stress and aging. It plays a large part in our skin health. Many people turning to anti-aging skincare ingredients look at retinol, but it might not be for everybody, especially if that person's got sensitive skin. They experience things like irritation, redness, peeling, so they feel their skin is too sensitive for an ingredient like retinol. Cetaphil's Healthy Renew range is great because it caters to all skin types, including people with sensitive skin. The new range is powered by purified peptides, so they help the skin to look more hydrated, more youthful, more plump. So you won't get that skin sensitivity that you would typically experience with other anti-aging ingredients. The new range has been clinically proven to reduce the signs of aging in just 2 weeks. So things like fine lines and wrinkles, dullness, and all those things that we typically experience with aging on our skin. Heroing the range is Cetaphil's Healthy Renew Facial Serum. It's got encapsulated beads that help to deliver the concentrated formula. After just 8 weeks, it shows a visible improvement in aging concerns, so up to 25% reduction in fine lines and up to 28% reduction in wrinkles, which is just incredible. The new range includes a micellar cleansing water. Think of it as a one-step to remove everything. And then we've got the Healthy Renew Eye Serum, which targets aging concerns around the eye. So think things like fine lines and wrinkles, dullness, dark circles, all those aging concerns that we typically experience. And then we've got the Healthy Renew Day Cream. It's got SPF 15. It delivers 24 hours of hydration and it leaves the skin looking more youthful and rejuvenated. We only get one skin and we have it for life, so skin health at any age has to be a priority. The advice I'd give to someone who's wanting to celebrate their age is invest in a skincare routine that just helps you age gracefully.
We all want to keep our skin healthy, and Dr. Nick, one of the best ways to do that is to give up smoking, or better yet, don't start smoking in the first place.
Exactly, Jo, and the same applies to vaping. We talked last week about the effects on the fertility of both men and women. And while most public spaces in Australia have banned both, the US have actually gone a step further, haven't they?
A massive step. A Californian town just near San Diego has brought in a new rule that means you cannot smoke in your own home.
Yeah, the ban prohibits people from lighting up in apartments and shared complexes where other families live. So it doesn't apply to single-family homes or, curiously, hotels or motels. But what it does mean is that residents of these shared complexes, they can't smoke or vape, not just inside, but also outside on things like decks and balconies.
Well, anything we can do to protect people from smoking is a good thing, but this radical move has people fired up because people don't like being told what you can and can't do in your own home.
You're too right, Jo. And there are similar bans across California. Now, the police have said they're not actually going to enforce this law, but it does mean that landlords and other tenants have the right to take to court anyone who's caught smoking in these shared complexes.
I'm a little bit torn by this, Nick, because I think you should be entitled to do whatever you want in your home. However, if I was in an apartment and the next apartment smoke was coming into me and my kids, I would not like that at all.
I'm absolutely with you on that, Jo, and anything that reduces smoking in my book has to be a good thing.
Well, smoking has a huge negative impact on our skin health as well as our teeth. Here's Sarah Davison to back something up that I know you are very passionate about, Dr. Nick, and that is oral hygiene.
Everyone wants a beautiful smile, and lots of us go to great lengths to get it. But many neglect an important priority, oral health. We've heard of the issues that plaque can cause on your teeth, but what actually is plaque?
Plaque is a sticky film of bacteria that naturally occurs in the mouth. It can form on our teeth, our gums. It can also form on dentures and braces. So plaque is a big contributor to tooth decay and gum issues. Every time we eat and drink, our teeth are exposed to the sugars in our food and drinks. And the bacteria in our plaque can use these sugars to produce an acid. If our teeth are constantly exposed to plaque acid, our enamel can dissolve and break down, leading to tooth decay. So if plaque isn't removed, it can build up and accumulate along the gum lines. It can spread and harden, and this can affect the tissues and bones that hold our teeth into place. A good oral hygiene regime is essential to prevent plaque buildup and protect our teeth and gums. This includes thoroughly brushing our teeth twice a day for 2 minutes with a fluoridated toothpaste, once in the morning and once at night before bed. Flossing daily to remove plaque in between our teeth and under the gum line where our toothbrush cannot reach. And finally, scheduling in regular dental visits for a professional clean and a dental checkup.
Colgate is a global leader in oral care. Colgate Total is Australia's #1 toothpaste brand, and Total Plaque Release toothpaste is their latest addition. It has been clinically tested and was developed with dental experts. The toothpaste contains a powerful formula with amino foam and zinc minerals. It goes deep to release 3 times more bacterial plaque along the gum line and helps to fortify your gums and make them stronger. Available in 3 mint flavours, reviving cool mint, gentle fragrant mint, and farm-grown natural mint. Brush twice daily, morning and evening, with Colgate Total Plaque Release to elevate your oral care routine. The importance of brushing teeth is one of the first lessons we learn, but we also need to make sure we're picking the right toothpaste for the job. Your smile may be the first thing people notice, but healthy teeth and gums help maintain it for a lifetime. Like many of our body's processes, we don't normally think of our bones and our muscles until something goes wrong, but they're both essential in keeping us moving. Bones hold our body upright and protect vital organs, while muscles help maintain our posture. They also contract and relax actively, and sometimes without us even knowing. Thankfully, caring for them is easy. You just need to know what nutrients to look for as part of a healthy, balanced diet, as well as exercise. Introducing the new Ostalin Vitamin D3 plus calcium plus magnesium, a specialised formula to support your active lifestyle by assisting bone and muscle health. The combo includes vitamin D3, which helps increase dietary calcium absorption and supports bone strength. Hand in hand with vitamin D3 is the nutrient most commonly associated with bone health, calcium. As for the muscles, the addition of high-strength magnesium helps provide relief for muscle cramps, mild muscle spasms, and supports muscle tiredness when dietary intake is inadequate. It also supports overall muscle health. Every expert will tell you that one of the key pillars of your physical and mental health is moving your body every day. And whether you're the queen of boxercise or Pilates, we can't neglect the musculoskeletal system, allowing us to move however we choose.
Well, movement is indeed key if we want to keep our muscles and bones fighting fit, but it's not always possible, Darcy, if we're heading off overseas on a long-haul flight. Hello, cramped airline seats.
Yeah, and the jet lag as well, Joe. Always a challenge, those long-haul flights, but those 20-hour flights might become a bit more bearable thanks to some Aussie ingenuity when it comes to lighting.
Yes, Qantas aircraft flying direct to New York and London will be fitted with scientifically tested jet lag-busting lighting designed for body clocks to adjust to different time zones. It's brilliant.
Yeah, it's incredible when the time zones will adjust according to our natural circadian rhythms, and the colours have been inspired by the Australian landscape.
It's taken 5 years of research with input from the Charles Perkins Institute in Sydney. Now, all they have to do is get onto the food.
Which is always a challenge, plain food, Joe, let's be honest. Speaking of food, here's Zoe with a dish that is guaranteed to keep you grounded in the best possible way.
Cooking truly is an adventure. I love to find new ways to prepare some of my old favourites. Take salmon, for example. Today, it's the hero of my chili mushroom stir-fry, served in lettuce cups. You'll need a large wok on high heat and start with the seasonings. Sesame oil, chili, garlic, ginger. Each brings its own distinct taste, but together a marinade made in heaven. I'm cubing the salmon into bite-sized pieces for quicker cooking and easier eating. Salmon's buttery taste and tender texture makes it wonderfully versatile. But the goodness doesn't stop there. It's also rich in omega-3 fatty acids. Tossed together for 3 minutes. Stock prevents dryness, creating a sauce. Soaked up by the mushrooms and Chinese broccoli. I'm adding soy for extra salty flavouring, balanced by the sweetness of honey and sharpness of coriander. The fluffy, sticky consistency of rice is the perfect pairing with the crispy stir-fry. And lettuce cups are the ultimate edible serving bowls. Stir-fries are one of those dishes universally loved by all ages, and it's not hard to see why. The taste is complex, but making it is not. Get Nourished is brought to you by Swiss UltiBoost Memory Nootropics with Cognigrade to enhance cognitive performance and memory recall in ageing individuals.
Well, whether it's renting your next outfit, frocking up for Frocktober, or repairing your clothes, gizmos or gadgets, I think we'd all agree that rent and repair is very much in fashion.
Jo also uncovered some fantastic innovations today, some of which, Jack, I think might be eligible for the annual awards night that celebrates quirky scientific research.
Yes, these are called the Ig Nobels, and every year they're presented by genuine Nobel laureates. They're kind of like the less serious Nobel Prize for Science.
And the 10 winners for 2024 include some pretty quirky stuff, like showing how dead fish can still swim upstream. Go figure that one. And how the hair on your head swirls in a different direction, whether you're in the northern or southern hemisphere.
Another winner showed that in a coin toss, it's very slightly biased towards the side of the coin that's on the top when you flip it, which is ever so slightly useful information.
Very interesting indeed. And the Ig Nobel for Botany actually went to this group that demonstrated that a real plant will mimic the shape of a plastic plant if it's nearby them.
I actually find that fascinating.
It is, yes. That's what we're here for.
And Japanese researchers showed how some mammals, like turtles, can actually breathe through their anus, only in an emergency.
That'd be a good party trick, Nick, if you could teach yourself to do that.
I don't want to be at that party.
I know a few people who talk through it, but breathing through
on that interesting note, that's all we've got time for today on the House of Wellness. Thanks to Dr. Nick Carr, Jacqui Felgate and Jo Stanley.
Make sure you check out House of Wellness Radio every Sunday with Luke Hines and Gerald Quigley.
Big thanks to our friends at Chemist Warehouse. It's bye for now.